All right, man. Thanks for hopping on this call. So
Of
tell me,
course.
what did you run last week?
Ran a half marathon. I was going for sub two, came in at 1:57:41. So,
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, what was your
yeah.
goal going in?
Yeah, my goal was to just get to 1:59:59. Honestly, if I hit that, I'd be very happy. My first half marathon was in November. I did 2:09. I gassed out too fast. I came out of the gate way too fast. And then went into the New York City half, felt a little unprepared on that one. So just kind of went for the vibes and wanted to just experience it. That came in at 2:16. And the fact that I was just enjoying that one and still came in a few minutes over from my first half marathon gave me a little bit more confidence in my ability to get there. But really, what took me over the finish line and got me under two, I would say, was the training with you, man. Like, really got me got me into the headspace to know that I could do it. And going into the training block in a much smarter way than I have in the past. So yeah, just huge improvement.
Awesome, man. So yeah, that's where we kind of after the 216,
Yeah,
that's where we kind of connected and
exactly.
started coaching you. Um, so yeah, the 216 wasn't a proper build, but to go back to the 209, what were you
Yeah.
using to try to get faster? What was the training like? What'd you like? What'd you not like?
Yep. I was using an app, using Runna, and the training there had me going through, tempo runs and a lot of hills and my long runs. I would say that the focus in how they structure the training is more on distance. So, you know, hit 4.5 miles or hit 7 miles, hit 8 miles. And so going that already messed me up going into each of those days of just knowing, okay, I have to reach this distance, and sometimes I didn't make it, because it just felt long. So I would say that was one of the challenges that I faced in that training. But just you look back, and of course, like, the more time you spend running, no matter what you're doing, you're going to improve. But I think where I really struggle was not getting that live feedback. It's essentially using AI to tell me what I could fix or could do better.
Yeah.
But I'm not really getting that real time feedback from someone. So yeah, and I think the biggest thing on that 209 again was I started way too fast, thought I had it in me, and died around mile 10.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So no real pacing strategy with the 209. And then just to
Right.
go back, because I remember you texted me like running for time makes so much more sense. Like this is amazing. Why
Yeah.
like why are more people doing this? I'm like, I guess mainly coaches do it. I don't know why the AI apps don't do it. It makes it way easier.
Yep.
But so then going into that marathon, does Runna have any type of pacing strategy or
Good question. I thinking back to that first block, going into 209. I think it gave some suggestions, and, like, I had a few test runs.
Mhm.
I think the other issue too is, like, I feel like I didn't really have an understanding of how to keep my pace
Gotcha.
in those trainings, because obviously, like, I just started running a year ago. I started literally, this is my, I would probably today is like my 1 year anniversary of running, honestly.
Congrats.
And so, I didn't really understand how to, like, catch a pace and hold the pace.
Hmm.
And so when you look at the training stats, you see me kind of going all over the place pace. And so uh, when it came to the race itself, it kind of gave the generic, feedback of, like, okay, this is what you want to try to hold. But again, I didn't really feel that confidence going into it, because it
Gotcha.
just assumed that I could do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome, man. And then tell me about. So, have you ever filmed yourself running prior to working with me?
No, I haven't filmed it. I've kind of, like, filmed myself warming up and things like that, kind of like selfie
Hmm.
video type stuff, but never looking at form.
Yeah.
I think what I did, sometimes when I start something new, I always deep dive a little bit, go down the YouTube rabbit hole. And one of the things I wanted to learn was how to not get injured, and go into this without dealing with some of the things a lot of new runners deal with. I ended up with shin splints, in August. So, that sucked, but that was
Not
because
with me.
I
Caveat,
not
not
with
with
you,
me.
not with you. This is before
Yeah.
pre Charlie. And that was because I tried something new in my shoes. I tried an insole and it really messed me up. But yeah, I didn't really like film myself and then reference a YouTube video to see if I was following that example. I just try to go by feel.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you introduced the filming, and once I saw it, I was like, oh man, this makes so much more sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then we implemented a couple of drills.
Yeah.
So after like a couple of weeks, what did you notice?
Literally felt exactly what you were describing. You talked about that engine, using your spine to build that engine, and doing all those drills made me feel it. After a few runs, I started to feel my hips leading me more, which again, I heard about it and I thought I was doing it, but like until these drills kind of stepped in, made so much more sense. I felt stronger. I felt like the pace was so much easier when my form was right, my heart rate dropped, which was insane. And, I felt like it was effortless. I think I told you on one of my long runs after you started training me, like, I noticed that when my form was improving and I was moving a little faster, my heart rate dropped by like 10 beats per minute. And it just showed like how relaxed I was being in that pace. And I think even on that run, I was pushing my kids in the dogging
Yeah,
stroller,
you were. That's what I
jogging
was most
stroller.
surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
On a
yeah. And
bridge.
so
On a bridge.
on a windy bridge at that.
Yeah, windy
And
bridge.
heart rate was just chilling, and it felt good. So just getting the form right, getting these drills in me was really helpful.
Awesome, man. Yeah, because a lot of people they just focus on the engine and they
Yeah,
don't worry about the chassis and
right.
all the other important things that go into it. So we do everything, and that's how you were able to run under your goal,
Yeah, yeah.
which was amazing. So what do you think? What is next for you?
I'm gonna keep going, see what happens. I mean, I have the New York City Marathon coming up in November 1st, and so I was going into that. Just will be my first marathon, my first New York City marathon, and I hear it's one big party. So my mindset early on was like, oh, this is just gonna be a vibe run. I just want to enjoy it and soak it in. But after this half and the success from that, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go for a goal here. Like maybe let's see what happens. And so my mind is sort of in the 345 range. Getting under that. If it happens, great. If not, like again, I want to be. I'm not trying to be a professional athlete here. I'm
Yeah.
really doing this for me. I'm racing against myself. And so it would be great if in this training block that's coming up, that I can get there and get prepared. But we'll see. Just want to enjoy this journey. I think running, besides the physical accomplishments and getting under sub 2, which is I know is not normal and not everyone does it, and I really appreciate it. Running has been a real mental blessing to me, I would say. It's really helped free up a lot of the things that have caused burnout and some of the other things in my life, and so I'm just enjoying this thing and figuring it out. So
Awesome,
yeah,
man. That's awesome. Amazing to hear. And you put in a lot of hard work. You have two little kids. You have a busy
yeah,
life, and you've
yeah,
managed to put in the work. And again, we didn't go crazy. We only had 2 months,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
not a lot of time. It's not ideal. I'm more of like a long term guy. So now we'll have two proper builds before the full on marathon, which is going to be great. So yeah, I want to give thanks to you for putting in the hard work and listening to me, slowing down the slow runs. It's probably my number one job as a coach. And
yeah.
then, well, what would you say to someone who is kind of on the fence about coaching and not sure to jump in or not?
Oh man, it's. I mean, it's a no brainer. Like there is no comparison from. Like I would say if you're just starting to get into running and you feel awkward having to work with someone, sure, an app can be useful, but it's not going to get you to the next level. You will plateau no matter what, unless you're someone who already has that structure of running and you're a pro athlete and you kind of know what to do. But even the pro athletes have coaches, and so like I think it's so important if you want to get to the next level, that you have someone, a real person, to help guide you and see that feedback. I think that's the biggest thing. Like once you saw the videos and were able to give feedback on my form, that's when everything clicked for me. And so, I could have probably tried to send a video to ChatGPT, but it probably would have given me wrong information, but I just think there's no replacing that live feedback. I think in any sport, in anything that you do, anything you want to get better at, like having another human who's better at you at this is just always helpful for the journey.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that. And I'm excited to coach you for the next couple of months and really nail your first marathon. So I'm excited.
Amazing. Thank you, Charlie.
Awesome, man. We'll talk soon.